All right, jump in, guys. This is Harry Parker. I got a great guest here. This is really amazing. Everybody's been super busy here. I'm at Skydive Paris Valley, California. We just wrapped up the P3 100-way camp. Kate Cooper's always been a gateway to big way skydiving, and now with P3, big way skydiving is available to just about anybody who wants to get involved. And I want you guys to know about this because this is one of the paths that you don't want to take. If you want to get on the big loads and you want to know what it's like to be in a big formation and learn how to do it, this is the person and the people you want to talk to. Kate, thank you very much for taking the time. We just got done with the camp, literally 4 days. Last 2 jumps were a completion. I got to tell you, from the cameraman's perspective, it was really amazing to see the coaching that you gave everybody and how you raised people up to the challenge when I could easily imagine that people would thought that it would be impossible, but because of the vibe that we have here on the drop zone and because of the camaraderie and the teamwork, I got to tell you, I stand in awe that they pulled it off. And not only they pull it off, they did it twice in a row. And the second time was better than the last.
Absolutely. But what you're forgetting, Harry, because it was so long ago, 2 whole days ago, is that we did 2 other skydives in this 4 days. We did the helix dive for 1 day, 5 jumps, ended up with 1 person out on a few jumps, then switched every slot, front to back, right to left. Did it again, 1 person out. So we only did 8 jumps on the wheel. We had 10 jumps before on a completely different skydiving, which makes the incredible completion of the Paris mini wheel even that more amazing and heartwarming. I'm so proud of everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait to post the actual pictures of the formations themselves. They're intricate, they're pretty, and they're challenging. So tell me, how did P3 come to be, and what is the mission of P3?
Well, P3 came to be some years ago when we started doing our first large organizing in California. Tony and I, we were doing the first 80 ways and 100 ways, and we realized that everybody wanted to do big ways, but nobody really knew how to, and it was kind of a secret circle of the guys who knew how to do big ways, and nobody shared anything. So you'd come onto this, you might be a great 4-way or 8-way jumper, but you're coming onto this 100-way, and you really don't know how to do it, and all the big way boogie geeks who knew how to do them are going, look, they don't know how to dive. They don't know how to float an airplane, which really wasn't the most nurturing way for new people to get into big ways. So we decided to start running big way camps that in a no-fault environment, we'd show all the secrets. How to float, how to dive, how to exit, how to dock, stadiums, radios, everything that we were learning, and we're still learning. Every time we do an event, we learn more. Everything we learn, we would teach, open book to the people who come to the camps. And when I say we're learning, even in the last year, we've learned things that we didn't know before. We've changed our coaching techniques to reflect that. So it is an ongoing process, and it's really exciting because people want to help us do it.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, just the coaching and the ability that you like there, it's a camp, so nobody gets cut.
Yep.
No matter what is thrown in front of you as organizers, you somehow figure out how to coach, deal with, and raise the bar. Yeah,
well, there is one way a person can be set down, and that's for a safety violation. We have 0 tolerance for safety. And if somebody is not following the safety rules we've laid down, either canopy control, tracking, free fall skills, they will be set down. There is no question about it. But for just learning errors, it's a no-fault environment in these camps, and we work around it. We find different ways. We put on different jumpsuits. We put on lead. We put people in different slots, and we work it through. You saw changes even today. We swapped a super floater and another person. The person who was doing the super float coming off first was struggling with that slot. We let her do it, 5 times? She was struggling with it. We switched to another more experienced jumper. She was fabulous in her new slot.
I know that personally in skydiving, like any time that I got offered a new position, whether it be exit or whatever, and it's really scary because you don't want to look bad,
yep,
that you get to try something new and the challenge is new, the sight pictures are new, the whole thing is completely new. and you guys are putting just about anybody who wants to do it almost, or at least from your perspective, who you think you can do it or should be doing it, you give them the opportunity to learn something new. And I witnessed that, you know, from the sidelines, and I gotta say, it made me think like, man, I want to come out and do a camp sometime. You know,
you should.
I really, you know, everybody's having a good time, and especially after the completion, the elation. You've got this high learning curve, and then all of a sudden, boom, it happens, and everybody's pulled together almost automatically as a group.
Yeah.
And I think that the confidence level, each and every one of those people goes through the roof.
Oh, without doubt. And our Big Way Camp is set up to teach you all these things. This was an advanced camp we did this week. Still a camp, still a no-fault learning experience. The Big Way Camp was last week. You do 2 jumps in a slot, then you switch. 2 jumps, switch. You're coached on it, you're mentored on it, you're encouraged to make mistakes. Completions are not the goal of the Big Way Camp at all. Learning is the goal. So, Harry, if you were doing it, you'd be in the base for 2 jumps with 20 pounds of lead on. Then you would be, yeah, welcome to my world. Then you'd be floating, then you'd be on a zipper, then you'd be diving late out of a trail plane. 2 jumps, 18. You get 18 jumps, 2 jumps each slot. You get 9 different slots in 4 days. Then we take 3 days off, and the people, and we really hope more people do this because it's a fabulous opportunity, come into the advanced camp, where we don't switch quite so often. This time we did 3 different slot switches, but you're still going to be in a position you have done during the camp, and you're going to be nurtured. You're going to be coached into it. Between our incredible cadre of coaches, somebody has done that slot and can describe it to you in a way that's going to make sense to you. Because what we found is that if I say blue, and Dan says blue, and Larry says blue, now somebody's going to go like, blue. Nobody ever told me that before. And the rest of us are going to go, wait, what? But everybody has a different way of describing techniques, and it's going to work with somebody. So what you need to do is work with all the coaches, and you're given that opportunity, and something's going to click.
So would you say your mission as P3 is more of a training, coaching structure to teach big way skydiving?
That's a very big part of it, but it's not the whole of it, because we're also the leading organization for large sequential. The P3 Power Play is putting the best organization for large, intricate, technical sequential. We've done the women's world records for the last 10 years. We're in the process, if we can get the airplanes, of a new world record, 500 way. We're doing the California state record last year, where we're also leading the path in new ways to do large formation skydiving, FS, and small stuff, technical, 4-way, 8-way. We're all competitors, we're all skydivers, we're all passionate about what we do. It's not a job.
Now, is the structure kind of leading? Because it seems like a lot of these camps and everything, you're bringing people in, you're teaching them how to do it, and then you're funneling the best of the best into like the world records and stuff.
Absolutely.
So if somebody really saw this as a goal,
oh yeah,
this is the group to be a part of.
Absolutely, because what we can take is a person, and a lot of these people, the people who are even on the wheel, excuse me, 200, 300 jumps, had only been on a 20-way last week. They're on this technical 70-way because they came here to learn. They came here with the desire and the discipline. And if these people, their goal is the 330-way U.S. record next year, they're on track. They may need some more camps and some more work, but we can take somebody and layer by layer, step by step, bring them up as high as they wish to go. Some people don't want a record. They don't want the tension. They don't want the stress. I'm down with that. I get that. They want to do fun big ways. We do that too. That's what the camps are for, the no fault. A lot of people don't want to step into the fault area, where if you make a performance error multiple times, you may be set down. But a lot of people do. And we will bring them up at that.
That's part of the learning curve. I mean, that's part of just learning. I mean, there's no fault or... Yeah, you got to be able to make mistakes.
You got to touch the stove.
So, like I heard you say 200 to 300 jumps. Are you telling me that on this 75-way, there's people with under 500 jumps on this load?
Quite a few. So, when I say quite a few, I'd say 5 easy and probably another dozen between 500 and 1,000, maybe more than that.
Now,
but there were also people with with 20,000 jumps.
So, like, you know, on the perspective of somebody who's getting in the sport, they're just getting off student status. Maybe they've got 100, 200 jumps under the belt, and they want to do something like this. These camps are actually designed for someone with that skill level?
Absolutely. Our basic camp has, I believe, I'm going by memory, so don't quote me on this, is 200 jump minimum. It may be 250, but a 200 jump minimum, the ability to dock 12th or later consistently, so you're not just been chunked the entire time, and have been on a 16-way or larger completed. The 16-way or larger is so that you're used to being in the air with canopies. This is not something we can fix overnight. You need to have canopy awareness. The ability to dock 12th or later means that you have some sort of fall rate skill. You're not just the base guy. You're not that guy. Although a lot of people come here who are that guy, and they come here to learn not to be. We've had amazing success. And the jump number is probably the only thing that we're really flexible on, because the advent of tunnels and coaching, we have had people come onto our camps with under 200 jumps and not even close to be the weakest person. But you have to be waved into that, which means we need proof of performance, or even better, come out early, come out and jump with one of the coaches and get a wave.
So, like, you know, so someone who's starting out as maybe at a smaller drop zone, because, I mean, let's face it, you know, you come out to Paris Valley, this place is amazing. They just redid the runways. Their flight line is crazy. We got 5, 6, 8 I don't even know how many airplanes you got here. I mean, every inch of this place, as far as a facility, it's like a Disneyland for skydivers. Most jumpers out there on the East Coast, West Coast, I don't care where you are, you do not have these type of facilities, and, you know, getting on a 16-way a lot of times is difficult. There's not a lot of formation skydiving organizing going on in certain areas. So if you're coming off a drop zone, you got 300 jumps, 200 jumps, and you want to do something like this, but you haven't been on a 12-way or 16-way, what's the path to get those things that the qualifications that you need to be able to get here? If someone came here, can they get that here?
Well, if they came here a week early, they could, because they could jump with Mark and Daryl the weekend before. Go to a drop zone that has a caravan, that has a porter. I mean, there's very few people who really, honestly, don't have access to a 12-way, 16-way format within a reason of the house. And Australia is a great example. Nothing bigger, much bigger than a 20-way aircraft in the entire country. Yet 2 years ago, we did 3 back-to-back-to-back Australian national records, 105, 109, 112. Some of these, we did a customized camp, a 10-day camp for these Australians. They came over to Paris for 2 weeks. We did 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, 4 days on. We had people who hadn't been on a 10-way. When they showed up.
Really? They hadn't been on a 10-way?
And they walked out with a 112-way safely, confidently, and comfortably.
No, wait a minute. Come on, Kate. Are you being serious? Because, I mean, that's a high learning curve. I kind of find it hard to believe that
It was crazy.
They could come out with nothing bigger than a 10-way, and then you're getting them onto a 100-way. I mean, that is. Are you suggesting that is the kind of accelerated learning that you're providing?
That was a 10-day custom camp. They made, I think, 40 jumps in that time period, and it was all coached. There was optional tunnel coaching in between, and they had the motivation. They did it. Some of these guys who had only been on a 10-way had 1,000 jumps. I mean, an airplane's an airplane.
So experience was there, but they didn't have the experience of larger stuff. We
also had people with under 200 jumps who came onto this event, and were on it. That was customized for this group, but that's why normally we require this. But there's places. Go out to a boogie. Go to Eloy for the Christmas boogie. Go to Paris. Go to Florida. Yeah, yes, it costs money.
So it's like anything. If you got a goal, and you want to go do something, you'll find a way to achieve it.
Yes, and if you want to do your best at the big way camp and the 100-way camp and the world records, you're going to have to prepare, and it's not going to be cheap. But ooh la la, it's worth it.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was worth it here, and the quality of the service that you are providing the participants is quite. It's organized. I don't think I've seen anything like this in skydiving. You know, it's just evolved to this point where now you're providing this huge experience. You've got the aircraft, you've got the talent, you've got everybody in one place at one time and all the tools necessary. It's quite amazing. I am.
Well, these guys are jumping with Dan BC. You think you go out someplace and get to play golf with Tiger Woods? I think not.
No, this is true. Yeah.
You know, you're out there pulling a four-way and doing post stars with Dan BC. If you're lucky enough to be in the base, you know, it's incredible.
Wow. So what would you tell the guys if you could give them, you know, one paragraph of advice? These guys that actually want to do this stuff, want to go bigger, want to test their skills. You know, what would you tell them?
www.p3skydiving.com. The registration opens in for the May camps, which is our next series of camps. I think it's going to open on October 1st. That gives you between now and May to have made those jumps, to be able to dock 12th or later consistently, and to have been on a 16-way. That is a very achievable regimen.
That is an incredibly achievable regimen. I think when you break it down like that, I think that anybody listening to this or watching this will say, yeah, I can do that. I mean, that blows me away. Yeah, I can do that. So,
and I look forward to getting to jump with you.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to plug here as far as the schedule, the website, any kind of products or anything, sponsors or anything that you know?
p3skydiving.com, obviously. I'm very proud. Aerodyne International. I have a Pilot 117. It is an amazing canopy. I jump it upwind, downwind, no wind, wearing 25 pounds of lead or wearing no lead, and I'm happy with it, and my neck is happy with it.
Well, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate your time. Well, there you go, guys. How cool is that?
Cheers.